Welcome to AfterBuzz TV's Crowded After Show. We'll be talking about Crowded Episode 5, Season 1, Amongst the Waves. We'll be talking about selling drinks to minors, how to be that cool couple, and what do you do when you get offered Molly. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Open up the champagne, pop.
That's right, when you hear Flow Ride, it can only be one thing.
Hear a knock on the door.
We're in our house. It is the Crowded After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Hey everybody, I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran. You can follow me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. Rounding out the panel, we have to my immediate left, Dani Golub.
Hey everyone, my name is Dani. You can find me on Twitter at Dani Golub.
And we have, your mom's one of my biggest fans, which I love, Abby Vega.
Hey guys, I'm Abby Vega. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at _Abby Vega.
So yeah, as we joked around here before we hopped on the show, Amongst the Waves seemed like such a serious title for such a incredibly goofy premise for this episode.
Yeah, I almost feel like that makes it funny.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's like irony here.
Yeah.
So much, there are just so much things to break down about how you, as a couple, how you approach life, which I think this seems to be like the biggest thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike and Martina.
Yes.
Yeah.
Want to be those cool kids. But then I guess we first start off though with just family movie night. Something very simple.
Yeah.
There you go. It's I didn't have a huge family, or even and their family's not necessarily huge on the show, but I never really had those big movie night debates. Did you guys?
Yeah, not as much. I feel like it was more we'd be on the couch and there would be something on and we would watch it. You know, it wasn't like we would sit down and pick. But I have a lot of friends that would do that. I feel like it was more with friends than family, but I feel like this family has kind of a friendly relationship, so it's cute. I mean, yeah, I feel like that's kind of like a thing a lot of families do, but for us it was more just like what movie was on TV at the moment.
See, we have a big projector in our basement, so it's the entire wall. So we'd have some movie nights, and there were definitely times where we couldn't agree on a movie.
Now, so is it pretty much like this? Like, was your dad like action movies? You guys want to watch romantic comedies, or?
I feel like it would usually just be, there'd be a couple movies, like new movies out that we wanted to see, and we just couldn't agree on one. It wasn't people liking different genres. It was more of just debating on what movie. I don't know.
Miranda Cosgrove is really into penguins. We find out her character, Shay. At this moment, she really wants to watch March of the Penguins.
I was dying at that. I thought that was hysterical.
It was just like you find out little funny, quirky things about their characters, and she's like a penguin fanatic.
Yeah.
I did have a roommate that was insanely in love with Goodfellas. And so every time he'd come home from work, he'd put on Goodfellas and he'd make dinner while Goodfellas was playing. And then when he was finished, even though like you could from the kitchen, you could watch the TV while it was all happening. But as soon as he got done making dinner, then he would stop, go into the living room, rewind to the beginning, and then start watching Goodfellas right from the beginning as he was eating his dinner.
Oh, that's so funny. My dad is kind of like that. He watches the same movies over and over.
I do that.
Like the movie Be Cool is like constantly playing in our house. We have like My Cousin Vinny. We have a few that like we always watch. It's kind of his pick now that I think about it, but.
But we learned that certainly it's getting a little strained at the household. Mike and Martina, as much as they loved having their single, quote unquote, single life. When the kids were gone, moved out, and the parents were, Mike's parents were possibly moving away from Florida.
That boyfriend and girlfriend life that they talked about.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. But now that everybody's back, they realize they really haven't had a chance to really just go out. And in fact, neither have Shay and Stella as well.
Yeah.
Or
Bob and Alice.
Bob and Alice. Yeah, I feel like they all kind of realize, because we all moved back into this house, now we're only hanging out with each other, and I think they're all getting a little stir crazy and trying to figure out how to get out of the house and meet new people, which is definitely like a struggle, for all of their different age groups, like how to be social again and how to make new friends and get out of the house and what they should even be doing at the age that they're at.
Yeah, and especially I think for Shay and Stella, since they moved back because they don't have jobs. And so it's like, well, how do we go out, hang out, and have a good time? We don't have any money to really go and do anything either.
Yeah, I thought it was funny how Mike brought that up. He's like, maybe it's the fact that neither of you have jobs. Because she's, I think it was Stella who said, we can't even do anything because we're broke.
Yeah.
And he kind of insinuated, maybe you should be out there looking for a job.
That was one of my favorite lines of the episode, too. She goes, that's because the economy won't hire us.
Yes.
And he goes, that was tuition well spent. I loved that line.
I felt Patrick Warburton's, all his lines this week were just so deadpan.
They were.
Every single one.
So funny.
I feel like whoever wrote this episode, wrote this one for him.
Yeah.
Because it was just, line after line, he just had, the best one-liners.
Yeah, he did
episode.
the whole time.
But they do, Bob and Alice, they disagree there for a moment about going out. And finally, Alice basically browbeats Bob into agreeing to go out on a Saturday night, which is something I guess Bob does not like to do whatsoever.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Blamed on the law. I want my husband to take me out.
Right.
I was like, good, you go, Alice.
Grandparents can be cool, too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like that goes across the board for anybody, like parents as well. I mean, or if you're just dating, I mean, you got to make that time to just, not just spend your time with friends or work and things like that. You got to make time just for the two of you to go out.
For sure.
Yeah. And we also, speaking of family, though, we do get Alice's son. He's back this episode.
Ethan's back.
Yes, a struggling golf pro.
I was surprised. Yeah, I think he was a little more comfortable this episode because as we mentioned last time we saw him, I felt like he was really stiff and some of his lines seemed really forced. This time, I feel like he kind of got into his character more, and I enjoyed watching him and didn't feel like awkward at all. I feel like he kind of was a part of the group more this time, and he was more in sync with the other cast members and everything.
Yeah, and it was really weird to think about this when Shay and Stella have the idea to like they'll watch the bar so Bob and Alice can go out, and then Ethan says Bob asks if Ethan will supervise, and it wasn't until when he said Stella said we're not going to pay attention to you that I realized he's really their uncle.
Oh yeah.
Which I made a step uncle, I suppose.
For a second,
but it's
I
weird.
considered it more brother sister.
Yes.
That's so weird.
Right.
I didn't think about that.
In Modern Family, now that you say that, because Manny is like
Luke's uncle and always says stuff.
Right,
yeah.
and like brothers technically with Claire and Mitch. So yeah, it's kind of a similar situation where he's interesting. I never thought about that.
I didn't think about that
I
either.
also didn't know that this show took place in Seattle.
Yes, that's what we found out.
find out today.
I know.
They just kind of said that in passing. She was like looking for restaurants in Seattle. I was like, wait, is that where we are?
I know.
That was the first time they mentioned that.
I noticed that too.
5 episodes in, we're like, oh, all right. Now
Okay,
I know
now we know.
this.
Now
Okay.
know the setting.
Yes, it was those things that I was just gnawing at me the whole time. Where is this taking place?
I thought it was LA. I just like assumed it was LA, but.
Yeah. Where are you happening? I can't fully invest in you guys until I know exactly where you're living. I want to be able to picture. I want to be able to Google all these places that you're driving. And then what other callback do we have for a previous episode? As the next day when Martina's on the computer in the kitchen looking, and Mike calls up the porno machine.
Porno machine. I wrote that down. That was really funny.
It was really funny, and he's like, "Yeah, I know it does other things." Or something.
Yeah.
That was so funny. It was. I like that because those are little moments where like you have to have watched the other episodes to get it.
Yeah.
That would be funny to anyone, but it's extra funny knowing. So it's kind of like a joke for people who have been, following along the entire time.
Yeah.
And we see that Martina's just getting really bummed because she's looking at her Facebook page with photos of them while the kids were moved out and they were just living it up. They're hanging out, partying, drinking, doing shots, things like that.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the things where you can see like Facebook, not necessarily even just like pictures of yourself you can, but even then you see your other friends. They seem to be leading such a fantastic life and it just makes you feel like, what am I doing?
Facebook does that thing now where it like shows you a flashback.
6 years ago.
Yeah, like look how much fun you were having 2 years ago. I'm like,
Yeah.
cool, I was studying abroad. Like that looks so fun.
Now I'm working.
Now I'm at home. Like what? So I feel like I totally can relate to her on that.
Yeah.
Like, look at what everyone else was doing. Look at what I was doing at this time. It's like that's that line. Like you don't realize it's the glory days until it's over.
Yeah.
You know? So I feel like I could totally relate to her. That was really funny.
I thought it was funny that she was reminiscing and just getting super sad and emotional about it.
Yeah.
Next, at Facebook, those time hops or whatever, those
Yes.
flashbacks are just
Yeah.
they just on a daily basis just make me feel like my life is going downhill rapidly.
I know. I hate those.
Like what am I
Definitely
doing now?
around this time because it was spring break month. So I kept seeing pictures of past spring breaks and fun vacations and I'm not doing that right
Sometimes
now.
I want to turn it off. I'm like, do I need this?
Don't show me that.
It's like, I have to be at work at 5:30 in the morning. Cool. All right. This is fun too, right?
Like I used to go out on Thursday nights. That's not a
No,
thing anymore.
no.
But then they just said like, hey, Mike has the idea. Like all we have to do is we have to find another couple we can hang out with there, and then we'll be a cool couple, right? But that's the thing. Like, who's that other cool couple that you can find that you can hang out with? And we see that Martina and Mike very much disagree on who are these cool couples that we can find.
Yeah.
There's always seems to be one something wrong. One Doug amongst the couple there.
I feel like there's something wrong with every couple that they bring up. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's like so typical of anyone who's like trying to go out who like they clearly don't really want to be going out, but there's like they're just coming up with different excuses why they shouldn't hang out with like each of these couples. You know?
Now, in a relationship, if you guys are dating or something like that, do you find it's either like, oh, we should hang out with other couples, or do you like, no, we'll stay hang out with our single friends and that's cool too?
I mean, I feel like it depends what age you are. I think at our age, it's still easy to hang out with other single people and go out, even if you are with your significant other, going out with like a big group of people. But I feel like at their age, they're in a really different place where everyone's kind of with their families and, has their kids and stuff. So it is easier to hang out with other couples. I think if they were, single, then it would be a totally different scene. They'd be going out with like other single, adults. But I don't know. I feel like it's easier for them probably to ease into getting back into it, at least having each other there as like a buffer in case things are super awkward.
Yeah.
Coming soon. Like if they were alone in the situation to come, like that would be much worse.
Yeah. Because to me, one of my best friends, her and her boyfriend always come out with all of us, and it's a group of people who are
like a big
single, and
group.
it's just them two. as a couple, but it's not weird or anything, you know.
I think
but we're at that age. Yeah, I think so too.
What I like though is that Mike and Martina want to do this together. It's not like, hey, we just need to go off and do our own things and just have some fun. No, they actually want to be together and do some fun stuff, and then just find somebody else that they can do that with too as well.
Yeah, that just goes into, we talked about this. I love their relationship. They seem so genuinely like into each other still, and at their age, and they have so much fun together. And I love their chemistry. And I was actually cracking up when he said that every couple has a dud, and she's like, which one of us? And he goes, no, we're both fabulous, or something, something funny. And I was just like, that's so great.
Yeah, that was cute.
Because I guess do you find that's true? Like friends that are dating, do you find like, do you look at them and kind of go like, oh, one's cooler than the other?
Sometimes.
Yeah, it depends.
It depends on the people and their personalities. Sometimes it works. Sometimes someone is a little more like low key. I wouldn't call them a dud, but usually it helps to balance them out.
I feel like that happens usually when there's someone in your friend group and then they bring in like an outsider as their significant other. That's when there starts to be some hesitation, you know, like, oh, this was our friend and now he's being like occupied by this new girl. You know, I think that's when it's like people start to get, you know, defensive of like but I think like if there's like a couple, like you said, like your friend that hangs out with the group, if they're all friends, then it's not really like that. But I can see how in their situation where they'd just be hanging out with one other couple, not in a big group, why it would be tough to have someone who like isn't dynamic, because when there's only two people, who else are you going to talk to? If one of them's awkward, then it's just going to make the whole situation awkward.
Well, they do find one couple that they can kind of agree on, John and Ann. But as when Martina goes to call Ann to see if they can arrange a hangout with them, they find out that John has left Ann.
Oh, yeah. So
and they since they both like John better, they realize, hey, what we can do is we can Frankenstein the perfect couple.
I was a little soon, guys, to be setting up.
So fast.
It's like literally hang up the phone and set him up with someone new on the other line.
That's what kind of made this episode. I mean, that was kind of funny too, because it was super ridiculous. If a husband just leaves his wife, they're not gonna go,
especially if you're
on
friends
a blind date the next week. But that's just part of it. It was funny.
It's comedy.
That's true. But I was also thinking like John, like just like. Yeah, all right. I just left, and tomorrow I'm gonna go out and date somebody else.
Yeah.
I want to live this how fast, like when they set up John with Jane, Mike's work friend, that they just the way they're talking to each other, they seem like they've been dating for like ever.
I know.
It's been like maybe 2 days, guys. Yeah, that's it.
Still not 100% sure what Mike does for work.
No,
flies helicopters with a girl now.
Yeah, the girl.
Yeah.
She like flies out. I don't know. I kept thinking about that while watching this. I'm like, work friend. Okay, what does he do?
I was thinking, is he maybe does he like fly for like a news station, like maybe as a traffic copter or something?
Like a chopper? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
and he's never at work.
No. None of them are ever at work for that matter. I guess
that's so true.
I mean, I guess
maybe it's the weekends.
We see Bob at his bar.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Martina works from home, so I guess that seems to be okay. So, but yeah, Mike, other than the pilot episode where he was sitting in the helicopter for a second, that's it.
He doesn't work.
Yeah, maybe he works overnight or something.
Yeah.
A little night flying.
Yeah.
But then we figure out that Stella and Shay decided, like, hey, Bob and Alice, we're going to watch the bar, so we'll go and we'll do that for you folks. And they both have different ideas of how to get people to come to the bar while Bob and Alice are out. So Shay says, hey, since it's a cop bar, we'll just invite more cops. And Stella's is like, hey, we'll just invite minors.
Yeah, viral marketing, as she called it, to her 2,000 Twitter followers.
2,000.
And I love when Bob goes, what's a Twitter?
Yeah.
I thought that was really funny, because that just
cute.
shows we were talking about the different generations. Yes. You know, someone that age probably would say something like that. They don't somehow know all the social media stuff.
Yeah, like what's
so I thought that was very realistic and relatable for anyone who's of that age watching the show. I thought it was funny.
I'm jealous of Stella. She's got 2,000 Twitter followers.
Yeah,
I know.
Girl,
shout me out.
No, how many do you got? How many do you guys have?
Like 500.
Twitter is not my strong point. I don't know. I don't really know how to use it. I usually just retweet. Instagram is where I have like 900, and that's my claim to fame.
Ooh, look at that.
But honestly, like what does it even get you? I feel like it's Monopoly money. You know what I mean? Like, okay, cool. 900 people that I don't really even know all of them.
I know. I'm like, I definitely don't know that many people.
They're like, a lot of them are like friends from high school or from like years ago, you know, and stuff. And I feel like I follow so many people too that I like really don't know that well anymore. So.
That's when you reach out and you at 900 ask everybody, hey, just send me $1, guys.
Yeah, I'd be fine. That'd be great.
Yes,
once a month, guys, just send me $1.
Not a big deal.
Yeah, just send $1 to you guys.
I like that idea.
Not a big thing.
Some of my friends have thousands, and
same. I'm like,
what?
Yeah. I mean, that's like I was like, I'm still like 230, guys. 230, woo! cute, but I've only started really since like the last 4 months.
I actually just got Twitter sent me a congratulations on your 500th follower. It's like big time.
I have 200 on Twitter too. I don't know. I feel like it's tough. I don't know how people get. Some people just like will make one and then get a massive following.
Yeah.
Some people buy them though. Maybe I feel like Stella bought followers.
Oh, yeah.
If I had to guess, like she bought like 1,000 or something. I feel like there's so many people that are like high schoolers now that like purchase followers to make themselves.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh, really?
It's definitely
High
a thing.
schoolers are doing it then?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, and so I feel like Stella probably is on that train.
Although I feel like Stella would be the kind of one that would take lots of selfies and put them up on Twitter and then get people to follow her. That, oh,
Yeah.
it's a cute girl.
Yeah,
I'm going to follow
right.
that. Sure, let's check it out.
For sure.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to get 500 followers though, because I
You get a
get
congratulations.
Yeah, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
For both of us.
Nice. Come on, guys. Come on. I'm like 260 away, guys. Help me out. Help me out. So
My mom will follow you.
Oh, perfect. All right. Abby Vega's mom, follow me. Happy go Jackie. Let's do it.
Oh, it's so funny.
But we also find out that Stella, in exchange, if they watch the bar and they do it well, then Bob will then be a reference for them. Because I do
Yes.
like when they ask him initially, he's
like,
like,
no.
I'm not going to sign on to a lie.
That was in the promos. I love that line.
Yeah, that was
I remember
good.
seeing that like when the show was being advertised, being like, when is this coming? That was a funny moment. Like I want to know the context of that situation.
Yeah, that was good.
And then we meet Anne. We've heard a little bit about Anne. She's got she's
Right.
kind of cool, but she can a little high maintenance, get a stick up her butt at times. And she's played by Stephanie Weir from Mad TV fame. She was in a couple other shows. Married to Bob Dassey, an improviser. So they do a lot of improv shows around in Los Angeles. Really, so incredibly talented. But she plays Anne, and she knows that John is dating someone. She just found out John's dating somebody what kind of monster would set somebody up like this.
She was a hot mess, that girl.
She was. She had
Anne's
a really funny line. What did she say? She said. Martina was like, "Can I get you a tissue?" And she was like, "Yeah, if it's made of glass and filled with vodka."
Yeah.
I thought that was so funny.
And so when she goes into the kitchen to get something, there's Mike saying, "Hey, all right, John loved the date with Jane. They want to take us to Boona."
Ooh, they were so excited about
Yes,
that.
sounded very exotic and cool.
But Martina's like, shh, shh, shh.
Yeah.
You know,
Because Anne's in
Anne's
the
in the
other
other room.
When you heard Boona, what kind of restaurant were you imagining?
I thought like Nobu or something. That was what first came to my
Same,
head.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a bougie sushi, or like
yeah, for
ethnic
sure.
food, like something that like you have to get on a wait list or something to get in. That's what it seemed like. They were
Yeah.
very excited
Yeah.
the fact that they could like get into this restaurant.
Ooh.
Yeah, seemed like it was hip and young, and that's what they were kind of going for.
Yeah.
So.
And so they do go out on this date with John and Jane, and they go back to John's place, and they hang out in the backyard, and they're like, Martina's so excited. Hey, we're the cool kids. We're doing this. It's like going great. We're having fun. And then John and Jay come on and ask, hey, you guys want to kick this up a notch? Let's do Molly.
I love Mike's line. Yeah, we love drugs. And Martina's like, why'd you say we love drugs?
Yes, yum, 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 yum.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know where the yum yum came from. I thought that was so funny. He's great.
Martina goes, yeah, I bet Stella's done this a bunch of times. It's funny. He's like, that's your justification for saying
Yes.
that this is okay? Like, so funny. I just thought that was hilarious that, like, the parent was being like, oh, you know, my kids do this, so I'm sure it's
fine.
okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that's usually, like, the reverse. You know, like, the kids are usually like, I'm sure my parents have done this, so it's whatever. But it was funny to hear her, like, trying to be hip and young and
Yes.
going to, like, I'm sure my daughter's done this. It was silly.
Now, have either of you find yourself in a situation where you're hanging out with friends and they're like, oh, come on, let's do all this because it's cool, and you feel like, all right, I guess I should because it's the cool thing to do?
I'm very anti drug use.
Yeah, me too. It's never
I-
really something I've gotten into.
And
Unfortunately,
something that I know is like around, like at schools, you know, you hear about it, but
That's right, Abby Vega's mom. Abby's a
knows.
good girl.
I'm a
She
good
knows.
girl.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like I don't give in to pressures.
Yeah, me either.
You know, I mean, if people want to do that and experiment, people want to experiment, try things. I've just never felt the need to. So
I'll do anything and everything. I'm desperate. I'm desperate to be loved. I'm desperate to be loved, guys. Please.
Frank's just trying to fit in.
I thought it was funny though that like as like adults they were trying to do that, you know, because I feel like it's such a stereotype for like young, even like high schoolers or kids in college to kind of give into that sort of peer pressure, and they as the parents felt that sort of pressure. And I feel like it's a kind of like a new age thing, and it was funny that you know they pretended to do it and threw it in the bushes instead.
Yes.
He's like, "We'll act high."
That would be me. Like that honestly, I feel like that's such a funny situation. It's like, okay, everyone is like kind of doing this. I don't want to do it, but I still want to like hang out with everyone. So let's just like throw it in the bushes, and everyone else is going to be on something, so they're not going to realize that I'm not, or something. I don't know. I just thought it was really silly.
Now, as they come out and they're talking there on the patio, how did you know where this was going? Because as soon as they came on the page, I was like, I can tell where this night's heading.
Yeah.
I had some predictions. You know, I don't want to like jump too far ahead, but I had some thoughts about what we were watching together, and I was just like, called that, knew that was going to happen. So we'll get to it, but. With sitcoms like this, I feel like there's some like predictable moments, like when something's about to go downhill.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was going to be all fun, and you're like, no, something's got to happen to mess this up.
Well, I was not aware of. I've never done Molly, so I don't know. But I guess being in a hot tub helps kick up the fun when you're in Molly. All right, so something about that. But
is that a thing?
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'm assuming the writers looked into it.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Yes, I'm sure scientifically accurate.
Yes, for sure.
We find out it's not just going in the hot tub, but we're going to the hot tub naked.
Are we naked hot tub people?
He goes, we're naked. We are naked hot tub people. He's like, are we? And then we are.
I thought that was so funny. I wrote that down because they said that. They go, are we naked hot tub people? And then the next is them naked in a hot tub with champagne.
So awkward.
So awkward.
It's the only time I found myself in a situation, sort of, not really like that, but I played strip poker in college. So we played strip poker, and then we get down to the end, and everybody's naked, and then we just sat there, and we're like, okay, we're all just... We're all just naked.
This is weird now.
That was what was so funny about this is like they were sober, know, and so like I can't even imagine how awkward that must have been. Like I can see why John and Jane was her name, like were kind of a little bit more into it. Which this is just like such an awkward situation for if you like really take a step back. It's like these people don't really know, the couple doesn't really know each other that well, much less they don't really know Martina and Mike that well to be like naked in a hot tub together, and then Mike and Martina are sober but like pretending to have fun just to convince themselves that like they're I feel like the theme of like this show is them trying to like be young and hip again, like now that their kids are back, they're trying to like have them rub off on them in some sort of way or not have them make them lame back to being parents. So I don't know, I just thought it was so silly to watch them like sober be in this really uncomfortable situation.
And it just like progressively got like funnier to me when they go, should we be making out? And then it pans over and they're just making out. It's just it just kept getting worse and worse and more awkward because they were so sober. Yeah. And their reactions were so priceless.
And I love that because it's like, is it just us and them? Are we doing a mixy-matchy thing? What's going on? Finding out what's the etiquette when all of a sudden like a potential like foursome comes into your lap. Yeah. How do you handle that?
Yeah, and they were trying to figure out what to do to get out of this situation, and then
in the coolest way possible.
In the coolest way possible, and then Martina was like, "Okay, I guess we could just do it." And then Mike was like, "Are you suggesting that we screw them to be polite?" Like that is just. It was so funny, and she's like, "Okay, fine, I'll do it." Yeah. He's like, "No, I don't think you understand like what we're trying to do here."
Yeah,
it was
I
so
love that
funny.
She's fine, I'll have sex with John. And he's like, no, wait, you just completely misunderstood what I was trying to say here. It was
It was really funny watching them try to like maneuver their way out of that.
And while that's all happening with them, we do have Bob and Alice. They're cruising around Seattle, looking around for a place to eat. Bob didn't make any reservations. You can clearly tell his heart's not into this.
Yeah, he's not about it.
And Alice is desperately looking on, trying to find an app to download to get a reservation at a restaurant. Poor Alice. I
felt bad for her.
Yeah. I did.
Aww.
Everyone's been in that situation, and I feel like she was like putting herself out there and like trying to do something fun, and he like wasn't having it, which feels like crap, honestly, to be the reciprocant of that.
Yeah, and it's like certainly like you may not want that every single day, but every once in a while you want your significant other realize like, all right, let me step it up, because this is important to that person. Like, hey, let's go out, let's have some fun, let's do something a little different than what we normally do. We can't always just sit here watching Liam Neeson or something, some oldies beating up other people.
Yeah. The only reservation option was like at 11 or 11:15 or something. He's like, who's going to eat that later? We Spanish.
Yeah, that was a funny reference.
I thought that was really funny. I've been to Spain before, and I like was holding my eyes open at the dinner table. So I thought that was really funny. Like it was, they really do eat at like midnight. So I thought that was a really funny reference.
And we find while that's happening, Stella and Shay are at the bar. A bunch of minors have showed up, and of course there's a bunch of cops there too.
Not just like college minors.
No.
That was funny how she mentioned, she goes, my following's a lot younger than I expected.
The demographic.
Yeah, the demographic. It was really funny.
And we see to get around that they're serving them vodka and vinegar and soda.
Yeah, they weren't actually serving minors
That
alcohol.
seems like a very unpleasant tasting drink.
Yeah, it sounded disgusting.
Yes.
I thought that they were going to pan to the kids taking the sip after Ethan said what it was, and they were going to be grossed out. But I guess they thought they were getting drunk, so they just went with it.
Yeah, I think they were so young that they just like didn't have experience with actual alcohol, so they just figured, well, I've heard it tastes bad, so I guess this must be what it tastes like.
Yeah, probably.
And I do like the two cops there. Like, hey, should we bust this? Like, why don't we just watch? We'll observe. We'll build our case by after a few more beers. We're just gonna do that. Like, all right, very nice. But then all of a sudden they realize, hey, Stella calls Bob, who's excited, like, oh, can I come back right now? Help you. And Stella wants to know how much it takes to bribe a cop.
Yeah. Of course she does. That's a very typical Stella line.
She's like, yeah, everything's fine,
Yes.
but it was just a classic. I feel like that's such a she's not a teenager, but that's just like such a, everything's good, minus the fact that we might be arrested.
Yeah.
Like,
Just a small little thing.
Small little minor issue.
But I do like that the cop that's arresting him used to be Bob's old partner,
Right.
and we just get a nice little foul mouth, just them, addressing each other as partners do. Just a lot
And
of
that's how Bob's
Yes.
shows endearment. That's how
Yeah.
he shows it to Mike. I just thought that was sweet because you see Mike and Bob interact like that a lot, just cursing back and forth at each other, and then they hug. And so I feel like it was nice to see him doing that with someone else. Like, that's just kind of how that's his way of, showing affection to someone. He's got that hard exterior,
Yeah.
but he's a sweet guy.
And I think it's easier for his former partner to realize that as a sign of affection.
Right.
Like, yeah, let's do that. As to Mike, I guess when you're a son of somebody's father and you want a different sort of
Yeah.
relationship but
Right.
when your father's just kind of putting on, this is how I treat you, and this may be my way of showing love. You may not understand that, but that's how I'm going to treat you, and hopefully you'll pick up on that. I can understand, when you see the difference between Ethan and Mike again this episode, anything that Ethan says, that's a great idea.
And he's always says son and
yes.
yeah.
I mean, the episode opens up with him going, with Bob saying to Ethan, "That's an excellent idea, son." And then Mike goes, "That's what those words sound like."
Yes. But certainly seeing Bob with his old partner, it makes me think his love for Mike is not any less than Ethan. It's a different way of expressing it for sure. But I could tell Mike is maybe I love you once in a while without the swearing. Maybe could we get that possibly? But then we come back to the hot tub, and what I liked about this as they're getting into the four-way, they switched couples there, but they're
Massaging.
both
That was so hilarious.
John and June are both
So
massaging
awkward.
Mike and Martina.
So awkward. They just
As
look
they're,
so uncomfortable.
trying to escape it. We really like hanging out with you, but
Cringing almost. This is so weird.
it sounded like an awkward breakup almost.
Yeah,
You know?
and right before that, when before they got into the hot tub, when we heard Jane ask John, "Hey, honey, get the really good condoms, not the flavored ones, because those break."
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
the line that made me think, "How, you guys have only been together just a couple days."
Yeah.
I know.
That's
the Molly.
Yeah, that's pretty fast to be already get your favorite condoms.
Yeah, and honey.
Yes.
Just terms of endearment like that, someone that you literally have had gone on 2 dates with.
Yeah.
Come on. You probably don't even know that person's middle name by then. You much less calling them honey.
Yeah. And then what happens? Anne walks in.
I knew that was going to happen.
I knew that was going to happen. That was what I was saying. I knew that was going to. I mean, from the second that they got in the hot tub with them, I was like, Anne is coming back.
Yeah.
I don't know when, I don't know how, but she's showing up tonight.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
And it's just kind of awkward situation. I mean, Martina's trying her best. Hey, what can we? How can we? Being your therapist, putting your therapist robe on.
Yeah. She's like, how are we going to solve this? Are we going to be, okay, verbalize your anger, let's all speak our truth. It was really funny.
I like when she tried to touch her back. And
Yes.
she don't touch me.
And then this is the which I think John and Anne probably very much deserve each other, because you just find out I thought you thought you were mad at me, and that's why John left, because you were mad at me. That was a pretty low barrier to I gotta get out of this relationship.
Yeah, I mean, that marriage seemed, it was on thin ice, and it probably will. They're the kind of couple that I think bounces back and forth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It seemed like a teenage high school relationship where we break up. Oh my gosh, I hate him so much. Oh my gosh, I love you so much. The
Or they
back
run,
and forth.
and they also run to their friends.
And it's so dramatic, and then they end up getting back together anyway.
Well,
Right.
Anne's justification for coming in is I was driving by just any normal, sane person would do, and I was wondering maybe that the door is open.
Yeah, she's a little cuckoo. She's
getting
nuts.
killed by killers. Yeah, that was
she was being the neurotic ex
Yes.
in that situation.
Yeah.
She was.
But they find their way back together, guys. Look at that.
They do.
And
then
Mike takes the credit for that one.
But I do like Jane. It's well, great. Thanks for setting me up with this. And I like Mike's see you at work tomorrow. Let's not make this awkward.
I thought that was so funny.
It was funny that he also was well, it looks like I solved that problem. It was just such a guy moment. That's not going to be awkward now. Martina looked at him are you crazy?
Yeah,
he was diverted that whole issue just by saying, let's not be awkward.
Totally smooth that over. That was it.
Yikes, that was good.
But then they have John and Ann. They go back in the house, and then it's just Martina and Mike, and they're like, "What?" Almost they're like, "What did we learn this episode?" Kind of moment right there as they're sitting right
I thought
there.
it was nice that Mike said that too, because usually I feel like that's Martina, but I feel like it was kind of sweet. He was like embracing her ways a little bit. He was like, "So, what did we learn?" It was cute.
Then it was for as usually as optimistic as Martina is, she really kind of took the negative side of this argument this time around. We broke up these friendships there. We had a really disastrous night. We almost had sex in a hot tub right there. And then Mike's like, "Hey, no, look at the cool things we did. Look at that. We cool people wanted to have sex with us. We found out we're naked hot tub people. Look at that. We actually kind of repaired a relationship.
We almost did Molly.
Yes.
I like that. We almost did Molly.
That was it. That's where we're cool, guys. We almost did Molly.
I always thought it was funny too when before Ann and John went inside, she said, "We only liked one of you anyway," because it tied back to them talking about how there's always a dud. So you know that in their head, which one is it? And she was like, "Well, they don't like either of us now, so it doesn't matter." But
again, not a chance for them to attack each other or anything. It's like, nope, we're both hated now, so it doesn't even matter.
I feel like that might come back up though.
Which
One of us is the dud, like the dud, and which one's the cool one?
If you had to choose between Mike and Martina as the dud in that relationship, who would you pick?
I'm Team Mike. I have to be.
I think Martina would be the dud.
But I love her.
Not dud in a bad way, but I think she'd be kind of that, like, because of her therapist stuff, she'd be the person who you're out having a good time, and all of a sudden she would say something very therapist-like, and you'd be like, come on. Let's not do that right now.
Yeah, we're
trying to have fun. We're trying to drink, So I think I'd have to choose Mike because I'm obsessed with him.
I love him. I'm biased. I think Patrick Warburton's hilarious. So
I think it's a hat trick here. We always go with Team Mike. Yep, look
Mike,
at that.
Sorry, Martina. Maybe next time.
Well, that brings us to the end of the episode, but I guess we have a couple more minutes to go into some predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Abby.
I don't even know. For real, can someone else go? I need to think. I can't think of a prediction.
I know. I'm trying to think. I actually guess we'll be seeing more of Ethan.
Yes.
I really didn't think after that episode that we'd be seeing more of him, and so I think I'm hoping he becomes more part of the family now. I feel like we'll kind of maybe learn a little bit more about him, and kind of he will be in the same category as Stella and Shay in terms of like finding a job and maybe moving out. I'm a little bit confused. Does he live with them now, like in the shed, or like what's the deal? So like I think maybe I'm hoping, like, my prediction, I guess, is that like we'll kind of see how he is intertwined with the family more, and where he lives and what he ends up doing and where his kind of story plays out. Because as I said before, I thought he was kind of going to be not that great and a little bit of a dud in this show, but he ended up being funny this time around and like gave some good one-liners and had some good dynamic moments with the other cast members. So I'm kind of hoping to see more of him.
It would be interesting to see. I'd like the idea that he's just always living in the shed.
Yeah, I think the shed would be funny.
He's still in the shed forever. The one thing is, I remember when he first came on in that first episode, there was that moment where he was really struck by how attractive Shay had become. So for a moment there, I thought, like, I wonder if there's like an unrequited kind of crush on Shay.
Yeah, but would that be weird?
That'd be really
That would be really weird. And so
again, to Modern Family, I swear the show is like NBC's answer to that, but I feel like that's like Manny's crush on Haley.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's kind of a similar thing, because I know he's not younger than them, but like he does have that like younger brother vibe kind of feeling in this group. But I just feel like in shows like this, where it's like a big family, the more characters, the merrier. You know what I mean? So with Ethan around and maybe bringing Justin back, just like more people to add to this house to make it feel even more crowded. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And what I liked is that, initially that Stella said, like, we're not going to listen to you when you're supposed to be in charge of the bar. I thought it was like, I hope it's not an antagonistic relationship. But it doesn't seem like that. As the rest of the night was going on in the episode, they're in the bar together, it wasn't seem antagonistic. They're all kind of working together. So I'd be curious to see kind of more about like what that whole relationship is with Ethan and the mix between Shay and Stella.
They had funny moments where Alice was like, have fun, girls, and he was like, and boys.
Your son.
Like it was just he had some funny moments, so I'm hoping to see some more of him.
I think a job or a new boy for one of the girls is coming up.
Yeah, I think soon.
I hope one or the other.
I feel like up through this point, it's been like really heavy on Mike and Martina's
that's what
relationship.
I was just thinking.
And I almost feel like the girls are kind of like a little bit of an afterthought, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're like never the main focus of the episode. Whereas the main focus of the episode, like when Mike and Martina are trying to spice up their romance, and now they're trying to spice up their social life. Like, maybe they are the focus of the show, but I feel like because Miranda Cosgrove is such a big star, they have to kind of tune it more towards her eventually. I mean, today she was on the NBC Instagram page. You know,
Yeah.
she was like live tweeting the show and everything, and was like trying to get people to tune in. So I feel like they really have to make her a bigger character soon.
Yeah, and they had a whole episode pretty much about Ethan too. So I'm curious. I want them to do more on the girls because they've been having really funny moments to me, and I want to see more of them. We know Mike's funny. We know Martina that they're funny. I really want them to give more story and depth to the girls. That's what I'm hoping for.
There was even an episode about like Mike and Bob. You know? Like, I feel like it's been everyone besides the girls.
And I mean, in a way, the show too revolves. It's them coming back.
Right.
So I mean, it's just been in 5 episodes, but I'm thinking and hoping that there's more on them in the next couple episodes because I think they're funny.
No, it'd be nice to give them the kind of like the lead, the A story in an episode and see what they could do.
Yeah. So
I'm going to go just a quick prediction that I think we're going to see an old friend of Mike's or old friend of Martina's maybe coming back and maybe be that bad influence friend. Like, when they come back into town and see what that does to one of them. Yeah. That's mine. And then I'll also predict that Abby Vega's mom will be following me on Twitter.
yes.
That's my big prediction.
Mom, go follow Frank.
All right, look at
that. She has a Twitter.
All right.
She loves it.
So that's going to do it for this episode of Crowded, episode 5, Amongst the Waves. I can't get enough of that title. It is so ridiculous. But if you want to continue the conversation offline on Twitter or something like that, where can they find you, Abby?
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at _Abby Vega.
And you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Dani Golub.
Oh, and Abby Vega's mom, you can find me on Twitter at HappyGoJackie. I'm excited. We'll continue our conversation on there, Abby Vega's mom. I'm just going to continue to refer to you as Abby Vega's mom. That's all. I hope that's your Twitter handle. That's all I'm going to look for you, as Abby Vega's mom. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Like us on Facebook. Give us those big 5 stars on iTunes. We'll be back here next week with another episode of Crowded here on AfterBuzz TV. See you later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.